Now, boys and girls, today's lesson is on why it is important to stay in school and also to not do drugs. Take my friend here, Truthful Christian. He is going to show why it is actually extremely important to comprehend what is being taught as opposed to listening to other people who have no idea what they're talking about, such as Ray Comfort, Kent Hovind, just to name two.
In the beginning, there was Gregor Mendel, and Gregor Mendel created the laws of genetics.
Gregor Mendel did not create the laws of genetics. The laws of genetics are pretty much there and in place. He may have had some discoveries in genetics, but he did not create the laws.
And Gregor Mendel also created microevolution.
Gregor Mendel did not create microevolution. He did not create anything.
The laws of genetics say that things produce after their kind. For example, dogs produce dogs, cats produce cats.
Nobody's disagreeing with you that the cat doesn't produce a cat, the dog doesn't produce a dog. What you fail to realize is that there's a diversity for a reason.
Microevolution says that there are different breeds of dogs. And this is true.
And we can observe this.
Yes, this is true. Check this out. How many inches are in a foot? That'd be 12 inches. So enough inches together will have made a foot. So if you were to look at every genetic mutation, change and stuff like that, it's 1 inch. And each inch represents a micro-evolution. And the foot would actually indicate the macro. Because that foot is a combination of every single one of those inches.
That's what microevolution says, right? Another great example would be humans. There are Asian people, there are people with dark skin, there are people with lighter skin.
The drawer you have opened up in the background here is driving me nuts. May I just hold on? That's better, thanks.
Small genetic variation. But people with lighter skin are still humans.
Yes, that is true. What is the benefit of a dark-skinned human in very sunny climates? Better defense against the sun?
And then several years later, Charles Darwin came along and he theorized about macroevolution. Charles Darwin talked about macroevolution.
And he said that things were getting bigger and stronger and faster and, better.
Where did he say that? Where did he say that? I mean, so far your education on this, what it seems like is you're taking it from other people who aren't educated on it. When you're making statements like this. No, it's about adaptation to the environment. If the organism does better by being larger, through breeding with other larger ones to take on those kind of genetic traits, that it's suited better for the environment, then sure. But what about those ones that are going the other direction? That the species is surviving better by getting a bit smaller, based on food sources and what's available that's needed in that environment.
He said that our early ancestors were monkeys living in Africa, and one day those monkeys
mutate into humans.
Decided to mutate into humans. The species does not decide what's going to happen.
Millions of years, for example, monkeys would still be monkeys, and those monkeys would still be giving birth to monkeys.
Truthful Christian. Monkeys, the other great apes, human beings. We are all of the same kind. a different variety of the same kind. We are all apes. An ape doesn't decide to mutate into an ape. It just is.
But he also said that everything was
growing and getting bigger and stronger. And
you know what, I'm sorry, I usually don't like to make these kinds of attacks on people, but you, sir, are an idiot. You are a moron. You are willfully ignorant, and you choose not to listen to people. Why don't you start making arguments against what is said instead of trying to constantly be doing the exact same thing over and over and over and over again? People are constantly correcting you on this kind of stuff, and you refuse to listen. You keep playing it off as if you're not getting your questions answered. Why don't you try to understand the answers? It's been delivered to you in so many different ways. And once you gain understanding of those answers, have a rebuttal to those instead of this same recycled garbage.
pine cones actually used to be a lot bigger than they are today, right? So all this proves is that things are getting.
What makes you think something has to get bigger to be better? Why do you keep coming back to that? One of the most successful species on this planet or kinds on this planet, or variety, insects. And they're some of the smallest organisms that can crawl around. Look at an ant colony. They're pretty freaking small. As a matter of fact, some of the most vicious and most successful are some of the smallest ones. It's their harmony with each other, you see. Is this an ego thing with you? That the size is what's going to matter for you? I mean, realistically, would a much larger sized ant be more successful? Maybe. But that would be all dependent on its environment, wouldn't it?
right, and we can observe that. Humans used to be a lot bigger, several thousands of years ago. See, so things are getting smaller. We're not getting better and evolved.
Okay. Again, you got to define better. Oh, and what is this that you're talking about? How things used to be of a different size? What would that change be called? And apparently something must be working right, because everything that you're describing here about it's getting smaller, blah, blah. Well, apparently something must be working because they're still around.
There are different races of humans, such as dark-skinned people, light-skinned people, brown-skinned people, right? People have different skin color, but we are still humans. We're not evolving and giving.
You've got to ask the question, why? What is the benefit of being dark-skinned or light-skinned? What is the benefit of this in the different races of people? And I'm not talking about the social benefit. I'm talking about environmentally. Why would a person have dark skin? What would be the environmental benefit of that? But your problem is, again, you don't research anything.